Yeah, so it's it's a neuroscience company, 34 years of research and development. The product's been on the market for actually 14 years, but it started as a class 3 medical device used in surgical procedures, especially dental procedures for people that have high anxiety. It was developed initially for people with immense PTSD. And so what it is through this non linear algorithm delivered through binaural beats. So putting on headphones and an eye mask, it brings your brain through giving it these signals in each ear at like fluctuating times and non-repetitive patterns. It drops your brain into alpha theta waves. So alpha and theta is where our brain goes when we go into, say, deep meditation. This is also where the parasympathetic nervous system takes over. So we have our nervous system's made up of two parts: sympathetic, parasympathetic. Sympathetic, when we're working out, when we're living, fight or flight, that's where we're at. And then when you're trying to recover from all of those things on your downtime, that's where your parasympathetic should take over. We want to get into, and as athletes, into that parasympathetic as often as possible when we're not in the effort. That's what this does for us. So I use it like after I'll get up in the morning, I'll work out, I'll run, I'll work for a bit, and then I'll do a NuCalm nap in the middle of the day. Allows me to get the most gains from that stuff I did in the morning while also coming back to the rest of my day fresh and able to tackle, say, another workout or just whatever I need to do in life. And then amidst big multi-day efforts, biphasic sleep cycle. So like the best example we have right now is when William ran across the US. He would run 30 miles in the morning. He would do a 30-minute NuCalm nap, and then he would put in anywhere between 20 and 30 more miles in the afternoon. It helps for recovery. He gets that 30 minutes, maximizes the gains he could get from recovery, comes back to the second half of the day fresh. That's on like a physical level. But then on a psychological level, it's really great because you essentially wake up to a new day. So you're breaking it up. It never really felt like, he was running 60 miles a day. He was running 30, having a nap, and then waking up and getting another 30 in. So it's a really, really amazing tool. I definitely recommend people check it out. If you go to NuCalm.com, NuCalm.com, there's a 7-day free trial. You don't even have to put in a credit card. And you can give it a try. We really recommend the rescue tracks. That's the real therapeutic core of it. And yeah, I really can't say enough about it. I'm a daily user, and I think it really helps to keep me balanced and clarity of mind.
So when you're having a NuCalm nap, are you actually asleep during it, or are you still conscious?
Depending on my levels of depletion, like you can fall asleep during it. You're still getting all of the therapeutic benefits. Often, if I'm not completely depleted, and where you normally would go in like a NuCalm session is kind of that melodic dream state between deep sleep and being awake. A great way, or a way I like to explain it is, like when sometimes you'll wake up in the morning and be half awake and you're like, I don't really want to wake up, but like I'm conscious. That's kind of the space you stay in while you're in it. And then really what's great is when you come out of it, because it doesn't really just bring you down, it brings you back up. So you do get into this like spot of like parasympathetic dominance, and then it brings you up and it ends with this very beautiful little chime, and you wake up really alert. It's a lot better than just a normal nap, and you come up kind of groggy and got to reset for your day. And then, interpersonally, what I love about it is I feel free of anxiety, and I also feel much more capable of taking on the day from a place of emotional balance and not leading with just like extreme emotions dictating my decision-making process. Yeah, it's really great for that.
If you had to quantify the performance benefit that you receive from NuCalm in running terms, in like a percentage, do you think you would be able to put a number on it?
Amidst multi-day stuff, using it is the biggest factor to success for me. I would say it's a 20 to 30% gain. That
Wow.
just having, and where that is because it gives you structure around rest, and it assures that it's quality. Like if I'm not using it, like if I was to take, I've done it, like been out on big efforts midday or on a trail, been like, I got to stop for a second. And I'll even have just laid down on the side of a trail. You don't know what you're going to get. You may like get just, you might be like, that was amazing. 10 minutes later, 20 minutes later. Or it might be like, I just tossed and turned. I laid there and like my eyes were twitching because I couldn't really find a way to get the rest I was looking for. When you put on those headphones and that eye mask, it's almost assured that you're going to get quality out of it. And really, when it comes down to anything, we talk about recovery. The core of recovery is rest. We can use Normatec boots, we can do an ice bath, whatever you want. But if you can't get quality rest, the rest of it really doesn't matter. And this just really helps to assure that.
Talking about big multi-day things, we've spoken about the Colorado crush, but I also want to talk to you about the outlasting a Tesla. when I first read about that, just, oh man, can you tell us about that?
Yeah, at the end of the day, like I'm really proud of the effort of that itself. I think um, the premise, the Tesla part, was honestly a little clickbaity. So anybody listening, what we did was there was a prescribed course outside of Austin, Texas, and we sent a Tesla ahead. And the idea was it was going to go until it completely ran out of battery. And then I had 72 hours to pass it, 76 hours to pass it. And it ended up going 280 miles, no, 200, I can't even remember anymore. I've done a couple 200 plus mile efforts. It went over 200 miles. I think it was like 240. And really, though, what was interesting is the Tesla was just this marker, but it really became like a battle against Texas. It was March in Texas, which usually you would expect pretty favorable weather. But true to Texas, it decided otherwise, and it was really, really hot. I think we topped out at like 97 degrees Fahrenheit, which is just brutally hot with like 80% humidity. And it was a fight to the end. I think it's still probably the hardest thing I've ever done. I really faced a lot of demons to surpass that Tesla 3 days later.